A warm welcome to the biggest, to the most happening daytime show ever. This is Heart of the City with your boy King Avry. And today, of course, 3:30 means that the panel is in the building. Keith and Kirstee, how are you guys doing?
We are fabulous because it's a Monday.
It's a Monday. We are streaming, of course, live on hstv.co.zw or newsday.co.zw, and our studio calling number is 086 77 200 400, 086 77 200 400, and of course our WhatsApp number is 073 200 4000, 073 200 4000. And we are on all handles. We are on Instagram and Twitter at HSTVZim, and like Keith said, the mother of all handles. Our Facebook, Heart and Soul Zim. Remember, you should like and share. Always. Like and share. Like and
leave your comments. We love to interact.
Yes, talk
to
us.
We really love to interact.
Talk to us.
I don't think you guys understand how fun it is to interact.
We're good people though.
Ugh, you guys are a lot.
Okay, it's okay. It is, of course, Straight Talk, the one segment on radio that we just say like it is. Today, of course, on Friday we touched on the issue of 12-year-olds being said that they need to have consent over sexual activities. And guys,
it doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
I thought about it this weekend, and then I saw my sister on Friday.
I know, right?
And I was like, think of my little sister.
And we did promise that we would continue with this story. So I think it's only right.
Yeah.
I think it's only right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the story is that Zimbabwean Parliament has urged the courts to reduce the general age for consent of a minor from 16 years old to 12.
And who is that 12-year-old consenting to?
I know, right? Because here's what we were saying is, how does a 12-year-old even know?
Like
other than like the one chapter he had.
Because
in
now,
science.
Because now here's the problem. Here's the problem that we figured out. First off, it means that there's somebody who can pass regulation or somebody who can pass law who decides, you know what, since I'm doing it, it should be okay, so that I do not get arrested, because it really does not make sense. Because I look at, since
my partner is doing it,
it's okay, so everybody should do it. And I'm thinking, okay, it does not make it right, because
can even come up with a policy like
it's
that.
Sad. It's really sad.
That's the same thing that I said. I'm like, so when you tell me this person woke up on a Thursday morning, and they're like, I wonder how I can make the world better today. Oh yes.
You know.
But how do you make the world better?
That's not making the world better.
What is the thought process behind it? Does it have to do with child marriages? Like what is because there has to be a reason they're backing this. What is the reason they're selling?
Honestly speaking, it makes no sense. Because
it doesn't make sense.
I'm thinking, how do you do that to a child?
You know.
How do you do that to a child?
Do you know, like 12, it's like when you have your first kiss, the weird first kiss where you don't want to touch. Exactly, and then even those first kisses can leave you so traumatized. You're like, I'm not kissing a boy or a girl till I'm 15 or 16. I'm tired. That was no. Imagine a whole.
It was 12th grade 7.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now that's putting it into perspective now.
It's grade 7.
Wow. The time is, of course, 22 minutes to the hour 4. We're going to just take a small musical break, and you can catch us on Facebook, because we will be continuing with Straight Talk to lower the age of consent of minors from 16 years old to 12. And I personally think, it makes no sense.
For me, and I'm just going to say this once, and it's the end of it. If you are for this, you're sick.
Yeah,
it's just that simple.
Because I'm thinking, Kuti, as a 12-year-old, I don't see they.
Like honestly,
I don't see they when I'm 12 years old.
The most that's happened to the human body at 12 is body odor and a menstrual cycle.
Yeah,
I don't even think testicles have dropped. I don't think
that's exactly the thing, because
there's no voice deepening. There's barely any breast development. I don't know what. There's no sexual development.
There's no sexual development whatsoever, and it's a child. It's a child, and I'm a
baby.
Exactly.
If we're going to lower the consent to 12, lower the driving age to 12, lower the ability to get a job to 12.
Let them vote.
Lower everything.
Let them vote.
Lower
because it makes no
everything
sense.
to 12.
It really makes no sense. How can you expect a 12-year-old to consent to whatever a fully grown adult wants to do? How?
The mothers all start drinking then.
That's what I'm saying. Hey.
Yeah.
That's outrightly saying pedophilia is okay.
Exactly.
That's
just without going to jail, but no
exactly. Exactly. Rangelic Baysanziga ko hairstyle we are talking, of course, about the parliamentary petition to lower
Health and Child Protection.
Yeah, Health and Child Protection Services is the one that is actually advocating for this. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense.
How are they protecting
kids? Exactly.
You know what I think
and what happens to the idea of statutory
rape? Exactly.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's a case of in areas of sin, it's just happening.
But it does not make it
doesn't make it okay. But I think for someone's, I'm trying to think as disturbed as I possibly can. I think for someone, they're like, look, if we at least reduce the legality, a lot of chaos will end because it is technically legal. Maybe that's their thought process. But for me, it doesn't make sense. For me, it is those areas where we know it's ripe and it's strife. Just because it's not getting reported doesn't mean as a society we do not know that it's happening. I think bust down on those areas. That needs to be gallivanting. Must gallivant in those
areas and actually take care of that situation because this is how I look at it. In as much as, of course, there's kids out there who have probably, some have been raped, and they've become sexually active, right? It does not make it right.
It doesn't make it.
It does not make it right at all, because I'm thinking, I have a little brother, right? He's about to turn 12. What happens to that little brother?
I have a little sister.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because this thing is happening both to males and females. At the end of the both, and these are kids. Muna at grade 7, how do they know anything? How does even an entire parliament sit down for something like that? How do you even discuss something like that?
How do you get on there?
How does that even come? Exactly my point.
Do we have more important things to discuss?
To discuss about right now? We have an entire cyclone hitting Manicaland. We need to be discussing ways to solve that, and we out here discussing kids, 12-year-olds. Makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It really makes no sense.
You know, like I said last week, like honestly, I don't expect much from the Zimbabwean parliament, government, etc.
Yeah, but how do they
But this part, you're really
trying
like it's wow.
Liberty Mafukidze on Facebook says, I was surprised, most importantly, that it came from the opposition MP moving such a motion. I understand it's a lady MP. Exactly my point. It is a lady MP, and that makes it worse. Because I'm like, how does a lady MP advocate for something like that?
And you know, let's be honest with you,
be it opposition or not.
Exactly, because look, she is not the only one in that, like in that panel.
In the panel of people who are actually going for it.
So it's like so what is everybody else saying? Because for this to actually be a story in the newspaper and for it to go out, that means people have
agreed. Dean Kudzaita Fira says those people who are advocating for the age of consent to be reduced to 12 years are pedophiles.
Yes.
Say it like it is.
They need to. You know what it is? It's even if we say children that age are sexually active. If you actually look at children that age, their sexual activity comes from sexual trauma.
Exactly.
When a child experiences sexual violence, there are two coping mechanisms. It is either they shut down completely from sexual activity, or they engage in sexual activity as a way to adapt.
So in no way is it right.
There's no way that it's ever normal for a child to engage. And the adults that are thinking that it's normal, I then now mourn for you, because I wonder what has happened in your life.
Because here's the biggest problem that we have as a country: arranged marriages.
Yes.
Arranged child marriages to be how?
This thing of preserving culture, do you know there are aspects of cultures that should die because they are just innately wrong? And that is an aspect that needs to die. Guys, kill it dead.
Like real talk.
Malvin says ngabe say 14 because 12 yakanyanya mana anogona kunge akura in stature, but I'll be honest with you, Malvin, I don't think 14 is okay.
I don't think 14 is okay either.
I really
I guess that now you are in high school. Okay. That's what 14.
And Liberty goes on to say, Anzi, maybe R. Kelly wants to relocate to Zimbabwe. We are, of course, on Straight Talk. This is Heart of the City with your boy King Avry, and I'm with the panel, Keith and Kirstee. And we are talking the parliamentary petition to lower the age of consent of minors from 16 years to 12. And we outrightly think it's wrong. So join us, of course. We are on WhatsApp at 073-200-4000. That's 073-200-4000. We are on Instagram and Twitter at HSTVZim. And of course, on our Facebook page, Heart and Soul Zim. I don't know. Marvin thinks 14 is okay, but
no, Marvin.
For me, it's not.
14 is not.
Are we saying these 14-year-olds can now drive?
Can now 14-year-old in my house. Do you not like 14-year-olds?
That's what I'm saying.
The 14-year-old even puts the cell phone on airplane mode and uses it as a game console. 14-year-old Rakema video games and a Fortnite, whatever it's called, Fallout, whatever it is, and YouTube. What business do you have telling a 14-year-old they can walk into a pharmacy?
Liberty Mafuki actually goes to say on something that I just loved, and I think it makes more sense. He says to Marvin, Hazite. 14 is a no-no. If anything, it actually should be increased to 18 years.
Exactly.
And I think that makes more sense because outrightly.
Do you know, can I say something from a medical perspective? I remember when I first wanted to go on birth control, right? And this was for menstrual reasons. Whoever doesn't like the word menstrual, go argue with your ancestors. And I remember my doctor telling me at the age of 18, you're still very young, and this will have adverse effects on you. Wait a bit. Your body isn't mature enough to handle this. It will affect you.
Just not ready.
So you're telling me a 12-year-old should walk into a pharmacy and say,
and not be never pill at 12 years old, or even at 14 years old. It wouldn't make sense.
To drop.
As making sense.
No.
It really does not make sense. And for you to even want to consent with a 12-year-old.
Bro, it's like when you walk on the street, you're telling me that you're looking at a 12-year-old and
guys, with the number of women in the country. With the number of men, grown men and women in the country who are single, to make matters worse.
Whose occupation is to satisfy you sexually even? Women outnumber men every day.
By far. And you want to concern with a 12-year-old?
With a 12-year-old. So you want to be cuddling, doing a Netflix and chill with the 12-year-old.
With a 12-year-old. Imagine that.
Come on, guys.
The next thing we're going to say, lower the drinking age. You should be allowed to take drugs.
No. At this rate, trust me, at this rate, if a female member of parliament, I know,
and the unfortunate thing is when a woman says certain things, society will be like, if a woman herself has said it, as a society, is it that wrong? And then you allow nonsense like that to happen.
It's like, if you put this into perspective, like when I was asking you guys off air, that 12, you are in grade 7.
You're in grade 7.
I'm not gonna zim say.
You are in come on, no.
I'm not gonna zim say. And someone wants to wife you or make you a husband. Like
are you serious?
Like really, how? How do you do that?
They don't even know how to bath themselves properly yet.
They don't even know deodorant. Deodorant expires in their bedrooms.
Like wow.
So David says, so funny that parliamentarians want to increase the presidential age from 40 to 52 and then reduce the age of consent from 16 to 12. It's ridiculous.
Facts.
He says Satanism reigns our parliament. Well, I wouldn't know, but
the other part
in as much as it is, you are right, because it makes no sense.
Can I be honest with you?
I could not care less the age of the presidential age.
No,
I don't either.
Children, people who cannot protect themselves, protect these kids. They are our future, and it makes no sense for you to be ruining it.
If anything, increase driving age to 18. Increase sexual consent age to
18 or 20.
Drinking to 21. Let's increase.
Because it makes no sense.
Let children be children for as long as possible. Your childhood is a small percentage of the
like, doesn't that still make sense to people? Where are our norms? We say we are preserving our culture, but is this cultural?
We are conservative.
We are moral.
How are we morally conservative when we are advocating for things like this? It is, of course.
Okay, here's another crazy part, right? So they want to lower the age of consent, right? But you can't even kiss your girlfriend
in public. Exactly.
But then you wanna.
My point exactly. Things that do not make sense. things that do not make sense. This is Straight Talk right here on Heart of the City on Heart and Soul Radio, and I'm chilling, of course, with the panel Keith and Kirstee, and we are talking about the petition of the Parliament to lower the age of consent from 16 years to 12, and we just think it's silly. We just think it's silly. We just think it's silly. We're going to take a short musical break, and this is a double play from Decibel. We're going to play Chido and Nakai right here on the biggest, the most happening daytime show ever. This is Out of the City.
I need y'all to help me because I'm about to win the entertainment news like I've never won anything in my life. Understand?